Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of PGR2 Platinum Handicap playthrough, and in this part we are looking at the Pacific Muscle Series, and this series is actually dominated by street races. There's a total of 6 street races in there, which is quite a lot for a series with not that many events in it. So we'll jump into the garage. Obviously this class is very balanced, probably the most balanced in the entire game, to be honest. But yeah, they're so close between the cars. But we'll go through them anyway. It is a little bit harder to rank these, but I have got a rank in my head about which is the best and which is the worst after testing them for quite a while. So, obviously sitting in last place is the only car that's sort of outside of the competitive zone, to be honest, and that is the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4. Yeah, this is just too slow in a straight line compared to the rest of them, which is funny because the acceleration stats only one off, but it is quite significantly slower. I think this car actually has the most power in real life as well. They've done it dirty in this game a little bit, but I think it is probably the heaviest as well, so that doesn't really help it out. But yeah, the 3000 GT is the worst in the class, but to be honest, it is not by much at all in comparison to a lot of the other classes. It's quite marginal. It's, yeah, I mean, it is worse, but it's not too bad. Right, then the other 5 are pretty close together, to be honest. But the Supra is just too far off the pace again. It's capable, it can compete in the class. But again, it's the acceleration. So I think this has also got like one of the most power in the class as well. I think these 2 are both over 300 horsepower. But yeah, this is just not quick enough. And then we've got the next 4. Now this is where things get incredibly close between them. It's so hard to pick between all these. So what I actually did is I actually went on a track. I think it was Admiralty in Hong Kong. So it's about a 1.5-minute lap. And I went around and I had a look which is the best car. And I just did quite a few laps in each of the cars to see which one I thought was the best. And the Skyline is actually quite a bit better than the rest, I have to say. To be honest, in descending order of how good they are, it's actually opposite of how easy they are to control and handle and how consistent you can be with the car. So I'd say the Nissan Skyline is the quickest and the best, but it's also the one I was least consistent with. Then, in second place was the Mitsubishi Evo. That also has an acceleration advantage over the RX-7 and the Subaru, but again, I found this harder to control and harder to do consistent laps in. And it is marginally slower than the Skyline. And then the Subaru and the Mazda are very, very closely matched. The Mazda is just so easy to drive. If you want consistent laps, you go in the Mazda because it's just, yeah, it's the easiest to drive. The Subaru is a little bit more understeery, but again, it's not as bad as the Evo or the Skyline, which actually both have bad understeer. But I think just because it's got slightly quicker acceleration, I'm putting the Subaru in 3rd and the Mazda in 4th of how capable the cars are at going quickly. I think I did a lap time and the Skyline was half a second ahead of the Lancer and 1 full second ahead of the RX-7 and the Subaru, which pretty much got the same time, and then it was 2 seconds ahead of the Toyota. And then I didn't bother doing a lap time for the GT because it's just too slow. But yeah, so I'm going Skyline, then Evo, then Subaru, then Mazda. But it's the reverse order for how easy they are to drive and how consistent you can get lap times. Right, that's enough of me waffling anyway. That is my order of the cars, sorry. So the first street race, 4 laps in Hong Kong. I believe it's the RX-7, which is the car in here that's we've got to beat. And I'm going to use a Mitsubishi 3000 GT. And you'll be pleased to know we can use this for majority of it on Platinum of the series. It's so balanced that the worst car has a chance, quite a good chance in each race. I think I actually picked the same colour as the AI, which I did. And I got a much better launch. I always seem to do that, pick the same colour as the computer for whatever car I'm in. But yeah, this car is more than capable on this difficulty. As you can see, look, the computers don't exactly drive quick on some of these tracks, and that was very close. But yeah, I can't think of too many classes that have the gap between the worst and the best car so small. Yes, if you're going for quick lap times, this will be quite far behind, but in terms of street races, which is majority of this series, you will do fine in this car, to be honest. And he's gone the other way, around there. So we're going to extend our lead. I mean, this street race isn't exactly hard anyway, so we're being let off the hook a bit here. But yeah, it does understeer quite a lot, to be honest. It's probably got the worst handling in the class out of the lot. But it surprised me how bad the Skyline and Evo are, handling-wise, compared to the Subaru and the RX-7. Oh, that was terrible. Even though the RX-7's the slowest, I still think it's probably my favourite to drive. Especially on tight technical tracks, because you can just fling it around the corners and there's no drama. Whereas the Skyline and Evo, you kind of have to tame them a little bit. Oh, I just ruined the last corner. Oh well. But yeah, that street race is nothing to cause you any issues at all. Nice and easy in the 3000 GT. And the RX-7 was actually 10 seconds behind because of that. But yeah, we've got three street races to start off. I actually can't remember what other cars are in here. I'm guessing it's the Subaru and the... I think the Subaru and the Mitsubishi might be in this next one. But we can use the 3000 GT again for this one. Yeah, so I think this one's a bit harder. We've got the Subaru, we've got the RX-7, and we've got the Evo in here. So you can see the acceleration is not brilliant from here. But luckily, on this corner, they give us loads of room to pass on the inside, hopefully, which they do. And we might just be able to get in the draft zone of the Evo, which we do. The AI on this track are no joke, but he's just got completely in the way. It's getting a bit snug down here. Oh, this is not going to end well, is it? The answer is no. Might spin him out, actually. Oh, didn't quite work. And there we go. That's them two taken care of. The Subaru on my arse now. I thought he was going to dive bomb me then. He actually gave me the racing line, which is a surprise. Oh, this understeer keeps catching me out. To be honest, they're actually hard little tracks, these ones. This one's especially difficult. But halfway, Subaru's keeping up. They do some of these corners really quick. It's a bit sluggish around the corners, to be honest, this car. But like I said, it's good enough to do the job. Luckily, it's that corner that they go incredibly slow on, and they usually catch up through this section. Because they're incredibly quick through there. I'm just worried I'm going to make a mistake. We are pulling away, though. This car's no slouch in the class. Like I said, I believe it's got the most power. I think it's got like 300 and... I don't know, just over 300. Maybe 320 or something. Same as the Supra. I think that's got 320. I'm pretty sure the Skylines had like 280 supposedly, but then they did like loads of dyno tests on them and they had about 320 as well. And I'm not really concentrating. Then I think the Evo and the Subaru, I swear they had like 280 or something. I mean, they're all pretty close. And the RX-7 actually, that's 280, isn't it? Ish. So they're all between sort of 280 and 320, I think, or around that figure. So all closely matched. But yeah, that one's nice and easy again. And we go on to another one with 4 laps. I think they do a corner badly on this track, if I remember as well. So again, we're in the 3000 GT. There's a theme going through this series so far. Right, we're up to 6 cars in this one. And there's one of each there, apart from the Skyline, actually. What is this 3000 GT doing? Oh, please no, Mr. Subaru. Right. Oh, this has actually got a fairly long straight on. We are going to get dropped here. Because we have the Evo and the RX-7 up front. They're going to be pulling away. I'm going to get caught quite badly here. He was nice enough to leave me a gap, though. Right, this is the corner they usually brake on. There. Or they crash into the wall, at least. So it's going to give me a chance. This is definitely a harder race, though, because of the straights. It's a bit wide, actually. This car's quite hard to drive, actually. I keep understeering a lot in it. RX-7 did a hefty slide there. Around the inside of him. Oh, I might actually do the Evo on the inside, which we are going to. On lap number 2. It's not too shabby. That Evo's pretty quick in a straight line, not going to lie. He nearly took me out. So I think on this corner they hit the wall every time. Well, he nearly did. It was close. Basically, I'm going to have to fend him off on the straights and try and get away on the corners. That's much better through there. There's no slouch through that section either, though. Certain corners, they do really slowly, and certain corners, they're very quick round each time. That S-bend we just went through, they're really quick. This one, they're usually quite slow through. As you can see, look, they've completely just dropped off. In fact, I think he might have turned down the other side again on the left side. There's a good chance that just happened. I didn't see it on the map. But yeah, these earlier street races are fairly okay. The ones towards the end are really challenging, though, especially with the Skyline in. It's actually a fairly long race, this one. It's only 4 minutes. I was going to expect it to be about 3 laps, this one, but they just chucked another lap in there for good measure, I guess. Oh, it's a bit late turning in there. So we're 8 seconds ahead. They definitely went... Yeah, he's gone the other way again, look, on the mini-map. Whoever was in second place, for some reason, I don't know what programming they have for that section, but sometimes they go to the left of the barrier. The like split barrier. And yeah, they just take ages getting through that part of the track for some reason. This car isn't too bad until you get into 4th gear, then it's a bit slow. It's decent through there, though. So now I'm 8 seconds ahead. Just certain tracks, they just do really badly on, and this is one of them. Just because of this corner after the finish, really. There you go, though. There's 3 for the 3000 GT. Obviously, I haven't been saying, but if you can do any of these events in the 3000 GT, you can do them in all the cars. So we ranked up again. So all 3 of these are possible to use all the cars in, which is nice. Very close kudos for all of it, actually. Right, now onto the cone challenge. This car doesn't actually drift very well at all. In fact, it's got the worst drifting as well as the... No, it's got the worst drifting, yep. It's got 3 on power sliding. But it's only a small track, and this isn't too bad of a cone challenge. I mean, 4,250 is not the biggest target at all, so it's not too bad at all. Right, here we go then. I'll have to remind myself of the tactic for this. Hopefully, it's just quick enough to just drive through and get the kudos. Actually got a nice slide and a good line through there. I think I may need to put in a few more slides here. If I remember, the target's quite tight on this one. 4,250, so we need 4,000 plus the clean race. Trying to get that good line each time as well as the slide, which will help me out. Just trying to put these extra slides in where I can. Oh, nearly missed the slide there completely. Oh, that should be fine. I think we've done that actually. Straight away. So it is a little challenging to get that car to slide, but once it starts sliding, it's actually alright. So 4,748. Not too bad at all. It's like probably the easiest class, to be honest, in terms of a handicap, because as well, the hot lap is on this tiny Shinko Park, which is, I don't know what the lap time is, it's something stupid, like 15 or 20 seconds or something. But again, okay, this is actually a hard little task for this car, because you do have to get the exact right lines in this, but there is only 2 corners, so that is the bonus of this. So yeah, it's 19.7 seconds. And the gold's really close, only 4/10 behind. Obviously, this track is tiny though. But yeah, we'll go in the 3000 GT once more. Right, you have to get the line spot on here. Make sure this understeer doesn't hit you coming out into the wall. Oh, in fact, that was actually quite comfortable in the end, surprisingly. Yeah, 3/10, I'll take that. It's not too bad at all. 19.4 in the 3000 GT. I think because it's quite planted and it doesn't slide too much, it's easy to get and the exit right on that. Because if you're in the Skyline or the Evo, it does slide out quite easily. But yeah, nice and easy, that one. We are smashing through these events. Right, next one, one-on-one, which I believe is the only one-on-one in the class, which it is. And I think it's against the RX-7 for some reason. And we're going to use the 3000 GT again, because it's only against one car, obviously one-on-one, and yeah, this is not too bad at all. Right, so the only advantage we have here is that we've got four-wheel drive, whereas the RX-7, along with the Supra's rear-wheel drive, everything else is four-wheel drive. So that corner is very easy to overtake on, because he just dive bombs into that because he's got the inside line. So we can fly into the lead. That's not a good corner. Luckily, it is only 2 laps, so it's not horrendous. But the RX-7 is actually quite quick on this track. So even though you get an early lead, it is quite hard to keep the lead. or at least stay ahead of him, so he's not on your tail. That was quite slow, but I think we got a better exit than him. Just keeping that lead. It's a nice corner. Now he's staying the same distance behind. Oh, I've understeered there. That wasn't a good line either. We've still got that gap, luckily, just. It's going to come down to the final corner because he will catch up through it. And again, he gets a worse exit. He goes into that corner quickly. But yeah, not too bad as well. It's a nice little series, this one, to go through. So another one in the 3000 GT done. So we've got all platinum for all the cars so far. Right, so 2 more street races coming up. Now this is where things start getting hard, to be honest. The last street race isn't actually too bad because it's on a very tight and twisty track and actually makes it easier to overtake the AI. It's when there's loads of straights. So these 2 are actually the hardest events in the game. Well, not in the game, sorry, in the series. To try and win, especially this one here. This Minoto Mirai? Is that how you say that? But Yokohama Bay Tour is also quite annoying because there's a long straight on 2 parts of the track. But I did do this in the 3000 GT, but I'm going to have to remind myself how I did it. There's obviously a strategy, and we'll try and find out what it is. Right then. I have no idea how this is going to go, but I don't think the skyline's in this one either. So it's going to depend on this first corner, really. Got a little nudge through there from the other 3000 GT, but we'll take that. We're up into something. That's the... Oh, there is a skyline. No, I stand corrected. So the skyline appears in the races from now on. I thought it was just in the last race for some reason. Right. We're on the tail. Hopefully these guys will fight. Which they have, and I'm going to crash into him. Just managed to avoid that. Now, in the draft zone, can I actually stay with the Evo? The answer is yes, which is a nice change. Oh wow, we're getting caught up here. Oh, this is not going to end well. Wow, what just happened then? My car completely slowed to a stop, essentially. I don't know what the Evo's doing there. That was an interesting line. Yeah, my 3000 GT just completely came to a halt for some reason. So we've got to try and catch the skyline up through here. There's only 2 laps, actually, which is not ideal. And that is not ideal, that corner either. Ah, I managed to psych him out somehow. They do that on this game for some reason. If you go into the corner at a certain angle behind them, they will move out the way for some reason, even though they're not in your way. It's a bit strange. So you can use that to your advantage quite a lot. If you just fly into a corner faster than you normally would, sometimes they will just move out the way for you. But he's rapidly gaining through here. He's sliding around there. Right, so that one was actually easier than I remember. It's the next race that's an absolute pain in the arse to try and get through the pack. But that wasn't actually too bad. There was some strange events in that one, but managed to come out on top in the end. if you're in the draft zone, in the worst car in the class behind whoever, you can actually gain more speed than them, which is quite rare in this game, because even in the draft zone in the worst cars in quite a lot of the classes, you will be dropped. So yeah, that's nice. Right, this one is a pain in the arse. 2 laps again. Lots of straights, but there's quite a few annoying sections to try and get around the AI, because obviously we start in last place and we can't let the Skyline get away in first place, so that's the challenge for this one. Right, so we have got 2 GTOs this time in front of us. I have to let them go though, because they get right in the way around here. Supra's actually overtaking the RX-7 there. And unfortunately, the Skyline's already getting away. I need to be in the draft zone this Evo if we've got any chance. And I'm falling away. Oh, just about. I don't know how I'm going to play this though. That was quite lucky actually, to be honest. Going to stay with him or not? Oh, the Evo's going to be up my arse. That's not ideal. Hopefully she should dive bomb in there. If she does, I can go round him. It's looking promising. I might be able to get around the inside of him here. Oh, he's driven into me. Stopping me turning. Right, this is good. This is where my advantage completely goes on the straight, but if I can keep him out of the draft zone, we should be alright. Gone in there too quick. I just ruined 2 out of 3 of those corners. Had to go to the inside there. He's just spun out on his own. Well, that helped me out a lot, didn't it? Oh, that was a little more challenging. Definitely the hardest out of the lot. You had to get quite lucky on the start of it to make sure you get past most of the cars. Because 2 laps on that isn't actually much at all. But the Evo actually came second in the end. Very nice, though. So we ranked up again. Don't really care about that too much. Right, so we've got... So basically, in all of these races so far, we've used all the cars can get platinum medals, which is nice. So, moving on to the speed camera, this is where that ends, I'm afraid. But it's not as bad as you think. So, right, let's firstly, if we look at the target, I'm pretty sure this is the only time in the game where platinum and gold are only 1 mile per hour different. It's quite close, isn't it? 119, 118. Because of how balanced the class is, I guess. But the 3000 GT could only do silver here. I think it was still a little bit off gold, to be honest. It may have got like 115 or something, I can't quite remember. The Toyota Supra could get gold, and I'm pretty sure it's 1 off platinum. And I tried so many times, but it just wasn't happening, so I gave up with that. So I think the Toyota Supra can only get gold in that. But then the rest of the 4, to my surprise, can get platinum. And originally, I really didn't think that was the case. I knew the Skyline could. Then I tried with the Evo, and I was like, okay, that could. Then I tried quite a few times with the Subaru. Eventually got that to platinum. But then I came to the RX-7, and I was like, there's no way this can get platinum. I was getting silver over and over again. And then one time, I got a really good line, and I got gold. And I was like, wow, that's quite surprising. And then I just managed to just get the perfect line one time after about, I don't know how many attempts. But it managed to get platinum. And I'm really surprised because it's quite far off the pace in terms of speed of the other guys. And this is going to take me a while because gold was sort of hard to get. And platinum, you have to get like the exact right line in the car But I thought originally it could only get silver, but I've just proved myself wrong. So, 119 miles per hour in the RX-7. Here we go. Come on, RX-7. You can do it. I believe in you. Right, that probably wasn't actually the quickest there. It might be okay. It was 119. With some sliding around the corner. If you don't slide, it doesn't turn around the corner very easily on that hairpin. So, but that took quite a lot of attempts, not going to lie. I kept getting 118 over and over again. But yeah, it's definitely easier in the Subaru. It's a lot easier in the Evo, and it's quite easy in the Skyline because of the acceleration differences there. But yes, the 4 of those cars can actually get platinum in the speed camera, which is actually, I think, a record for the entire game, to be honest, because you can never get that many cars doing platinum on a speed camera challenge for sure. Right, now we have a street race, 3 laps of Admiralty. This is the track I actually timed these cars on. And we're jumping back into the 3000 GT. And if I remember, this is actually quite easy, this one, just because there's so many corners and the AI don't drive particularly quick on this track. So we have a great chance of doing this one in the 3000 GT. Right, there's actually a Skyline at the back of this race for some reason. It makes me think, are there 2 Skylines in this race or not? Or is there only 1? They're already having a bit of a fight. Oh, that's quite nice. That opened up very nicely for me there. Yes, there are 2 Skylines. Already up to second place on the second corner. So we've got 1 Skyline to catch up. But yeah, there's so many corners on this track. Oh, just clipped the wall there. It's not ideal. Oops. Luckily, they go quite slow around there, just like I did. This section's bumpy as hell as well. And that's a straight drag race, which we're going to lose, obviously. It's just going really slow around there. Just some of these corners they go incredibly slow on. But he's most likely going to fly past me again. Don't actually need to take him out on this one, which is a change, isn't it? He might do it himself with all the sliding. I could really pit maneuver him right now. But if you're in a Skyline, that usually happens, where you just completely slide out. As he's finding out. And then we'll go around here, which he's... Yeah, there we go, look. He's just decided to go on the inside of this corner. So that just hands us the win nice and easy. And I don't know why, on any tracks that have that part of the track, they do exactly the same thing. It's just really weird. They must get to a certain point on the central barrier and then they have to make a decision where to go, and then obviously sometimes they decide down there. So we've got another 1.5 laps to go with nobody anywhere near us now. So to be honest, in compared to what we've done so far, this series has been an absolute walk in the park. And the further we go through the game, there's some horrible events that pop up that we've got to do. But none of them are in this class. I don't even think any of the events were even that bad at all in this. There was that one street race before the speed camera that was a little bit more challenging. The speed camera itself was a bit annoying as well, but I mean, compared to some of the other tracks and events we've done, it's not bad at all, really. I mean, I don't even know how many seconds we are ahead at this point. Oh, crap. I think that's the first time I hit the wall. 11 seconds ahead in the 3000 GT. To be honest, I don't think anybody has any difficulty with this class, regardless of what car you use anyway. I don't think anyone's ever got stuck on this class. But it's definitely one of the funnest classes to use online, for sure. I actually got 50 there for 2 good lines. It's quite a lot of kudos, isn't it? I do like that corner though. It's quite fun to go around. But yeah, I suppose an ultimate handicap would be giving them head starts and stuff. But I thought, well, we're already in the worst car. And that is sort of the aim of this one. There's only... If you're in the best cars, the only real time to put sort of a handicap on for the time, I think. But the car's quite a lot worse than the other lot. So that should be enough of a handicap in itself. But they just don't drive well on these tracks, which is a bit strange. But there you have it, and we've pulled away even more. I don't even know how far ahead now. Nice amount of kudos there. We didn't get a clean race, though. And Skyline is in second, Mitsubishi, then the Subaru, then the RX-7, which is, funny enough, the order that I said they were best to worst. And then the other Skyline that started in 7th has moved up to 6th place. 17 seconds behind. Pretty close, that. Oh, I mean, the Lancer and the Subaru are close, sorry. Only half a second between them. But we have unlocked the next series, which is the Roadster series, and that's where the balancing ends, because we go into this series with an extra event added on. And, yeah, this is just horribly balanced, this class. Horribly balanced because of the AC427. But, yeah, we have to use it a few times, but we can use quite a few of the other cars in that class. So we'll get more into that in the next episode. But as per usual, I'll pop up the medal spreadsheet so we can have a look at that. And there isn't really much to talk about at all with this one. But that is what we like to see on the table. It's like pretty much a full platinum sweep of all the events, apart from obviously the speed camera there towards the end, where the Supra could only get gold and the Mitsubishi 3000 GT could only get silver. So 50 points for 4 of them there, the 4 really closely matched cars in the group. Supra just behind on 49, and the 3000 GT 1 point further back on 48. So 2 points between the first place and last place in there. So obviously that proves that it's a crazy balanced class. And I think it helps because of the races in there. 6 street races is a lot in there. So yeah, that does help. The cone challenge is nice and easy. The hot lap is tiny. The 1 versus 1 is easy. So yeah, it's just an easy class really. But there you have it. So in the next series, it's the Roadster series. This is going to be a little bit more challenging. And yeah, we can't use quite as many different cars. But we'll see how that goes. So this is the end of this episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed as always. And I'll catch you in the next one.